Hello and welcome to episode 25 of the Championship Rounds podcast. Quiet week. Not much going on, so we'll get straight into it. St. Stephen's Day, Panya Pradbury didn't beat Carlos Canizales, got the decision, one of the worst decisions of the year. Horrible. Scoring it live, I had it Carlos Canizales winning every round. Rewatching it, I had Carlos Canizales winning 11 rounds. Thailand judging, man, come on.
I actually didn't score it. Did I rewatch it? I don't think I rewatched it, to be honest. But live rewatching, that was just terrible. I mean, obviously Taj wasn't awake, and I told him that I'm probably gonna have to change that to my robbery of the year.
I already changed it already.
I mean, I did change it. I mean, that was just bad.
I really did think that Barboza versus Macomb, or the first Foster Conceicao fight, was gonna take the cake there. Nope.
Yeah, but I mean, the difference is he just beat up Prattisbury, but Macomb and Foster just outboxed their opponents. So that's a massive difference.
And those fights were low output as well.
Yeah.
Well,
and this one
they did get freaky at times, to be honest. But Carlos was so accurate with everything. You have to talk about Prattisbury has one of the best chins in boxing, to be honest. I know they're life flyweights and the lowest of the low weight divisions, but he's taken some insane punches in the last couple of years.
This guy dropped Kenjiro.
He can punch.
Knocked out Canegan Lopez in 4 rounds. He can punch, mate.
That's what I'm saying. And then just the punch, Prattisbury was hurt a couple of times in the fight. In round 11, I really thought he was going to get stopped, to be honest.
I mean, I thought he might get stopped early. Well, not get stopped early, but early in the fight, round 4. I was like, oh, he's feeling these punches. I don't know how he can take these for 12 rounds.
I can't.
You say he almost got stopped in round 11.
I can't believe 2 judges gave him round 11.
That was so bad.
That Mongolian judge who gave Prattisbury 8 rounds needs
to give Panya Pradbury round 11 when there was more case for a 10-8 round. I've given one 10-8 round this year. When the guy hasn't been dropped, and that was in the Wisma Lima against Singh Batty fight from a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember that. That fight shouldn't have made it to the end either.
But there was I didn't have it a 10-8 round, but in that round 11, there was a legitimate case for it. There was no case for Panya winning that round. It's just horrible. And you can. I posted a clip on Twitter. You can do it for every single round of that fight that got given to Panya. It was clear. It wasn't a close fight at all. There was no close rounds. There was no swing rounds. No, Canizales battered him. And the closest you can have it, absolutely giving everything you can to Panya, is 118, 110.
Yeah, that's the scorecard I've seen the most when I woke up. It was 10-2. They gave him round 1 and 9 or something like that.
But it wasn't that's just so bad. That robbery is so bad. At least Maurizio has sort of acknowledged that they're going to look into the judging. But you've got to order a rematch right away. If you're doing it for Foster Conceicao, you've got to do it for this fight.
They should.
Maybe they shouldn't rematch. Maybe you should just overturn it.
That's just not realistic.
Have them score it back and overturn it.
I would like that, but that's not realistic with them.
They're not going to the Thai Commission can only do that, and the Thai Commission aren't going to do that.
The Thai Commission scored that fight before
it
even happened. Because with the open scoring, I mean, that was confusing as well.
Yeah, because they didn't have the names on it, and like we were watching it, and I was like messaging you saying, "Surely that's the Canizales, the people that are up, like he's way up. Like one fight was way up in the cards, and we're like, surely that's Canizales."
Nope.
Nope. Just no.
How
Like he
the
was.
hell did you not give Canizales any of the first 4 rounds?
I know they must have had like just like the default like what are they called? Open scoring like cards. So they're gonna say champion and challenger, but it was really funny seeing that Prodisbury was on the champion side. It made it seem like there's already a fixer.
There
That
was.
was horrible. It was horrible.
I was gonna say that there was actually a fix. Yeah.
There was a fix.
It's so bad. So bad. Like, man, Canizales has had it rough.
Yeah, this year's been horrible for him.
Well, I mean, you have to even going back to like Taguchi, the draw. Like, he could have won that fight. Like, had the inactivity. You know, could have got the decision against Kenshiro. That wasn't a robbery. It was a legitimately close fight. It could have gone either way. That wasn't a robbery. But he could have got that easily. And then like, there's no doubt in my mind that he won that fight this week. Like, it's so sad, man. And this sport just honestly, like, it's so bad sometimes.
Yeah, imagine a year of beating Kenshiro, and then let's say he also beats Prodisbury again. I mean, that's a great year, even if he probably should have lost his last fight.
It's just it's ridiculous, man. How, like, this is ridiculous. I don't. Yeah. Anyway, on to more ridiculous cards that aren't as ridiculous as that. Last night, Felix Alvarado beat Tobias Reyes via a 115-113 twice and 114-114 majority decision in Nicaragua to win the IBF final eliminator. At flyweight, I had it 117-111, if I'm being honest. I thought Alvarado dominated the second half.
I can't believe Reyes actually made it to the end of the fight. I
props
actually like
to him.
kind of respect. I actually kind of like
Yeah.
I like, respect him for doing it. But he literally didn't do anything but like run and survive for like the last like 5 rounds of the fight. So
And if you look at the cards, like, Alvarado needed those last two because he was down. Like,
which is ridiculous.
You know, I mean, it's kind of interesting that the cards were so close, considering he is the promoter.
yeah, it was weird.
Because, I mean, it was like competitive at times, but it wasn't close on the scorecards. I mean, I'd like to know the punch stats because, I mean, he just doesn't stop throwing.
He has some of the best stamina
Look, if
ever. Like, it's ridiculous.
if Felix Alvarado can fight his own fight, like there's like a 99% chance he's gonna beat you unless you're great and crazy across the other side and you can match it.
That has to be like Sonny Edwards' best win. Like for him
Yeah,
to
it
like
is.
really seclude all that pressure and just make him miss so much. Like looking back on that, that's an insane performance.
You know what? I really wanted to see. The 5 years ago, it should have been Kenshiro against Alvarado. Because that fight was made. And Alvarado pulled out. And I really think that would have been a war.
Well, Kenshiro live flyweight is a war, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd still like to see that fight now, actually, at flyweight. But
I would say it's still possible.
Look, he rematches Ioka, beats him, and they could unify if
he beat him the first time, by the way.
yeah, if Kenshiro
Talking of
beats
robberies, that
Akui.
was horrific. Ayala clearly won that first fight against. Alvarado clearly won that first fight against Ayala. Clearly. I'm still bitter about that because that cost me a lot of money because I had loads of money on Alvarado to win on points at like 7-1.
Yeah,
And they read the scores out the wrong way as well. So I was like, yes, get in. Texting everyone saying, oh yeah, I've just won this. And then I'm like, oh no, actually, we read out the wrong winner. Ayala's actually won. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, then after the first one, you're like, oh, damn it, what have I done? I made a mistake.
Yeah, he's going to stop him. But gee, Ayala's a good fighter, man, but he didn't win that fight. And that's just a horrific style matchup for him, in my opinion.
For anybody.
Yeah, but especially for him, like
For
he's that
anybody
type of
on
fighter where
planet.
he does get involved a bit.
Yeah.
Like, and he gets
He's
involved too
forced
much.
to.
And
He's
for
forced
someone
to.
like Alvarado,
You just can't let him fight his fight. I mean,
Almost
he's just one of those guys that just comes forward and just doesn't stop, like a Figueroa or a Espinoza or a Nick Ball. You just can't let them fight their fight.
but he's more relentless than those.
Insane stamina.
He's more relentless than those. Like he throws more. I think he's got a slightly better footwork than him as well. Like, and he's longer. It's weird because he starts his attacks from further out, and then he gets. It's like Espinoza. He can start his attacks from miles outside.
And his defense is low key not that like bad.
Yeah.
And he can take a punch. I mean, I don't think he's ever been dropped. I don't recall him ever being dropped.
He's never been dropped. And
You
he's
never
fought
know.
like
Like,
45 times.
That's the thing. Like these early fights in sort of Nicaragua and Mexico and a lot of these American countries, like you never know quite if they've never been dropped. But yeah, in his relevant fights, he hasn't.
I mean, I'll just assume he's never been. From what I've seen, I'm just assuming he's never been dropped.
I wouldn't think he's ever been dropped, to be honest.
He's a terror, man, to fight. Like there's these fights that you might win, but are just horrible, and he's one of those guys. Like you know you're going to be there for 12 rounds, and you know you're going to have to be constantly moving and constantly getting him off you, and like it's just horrible to fight someone like that.
He's the last type of prototype of fighter I'd ever want to fight against.
Yeah. But yeah, that was actually it was a good fight, but Reyes just got outgunned. Simply like Alvarado threw too much, was more accurate, was on the front foot more, had better footwork. That's all. But yeah, it was a good fight. And yeah, those are the only two real meaningful fights that have happened this weekend. Or this week, I should say. So we'll move on to a rematch on New Year's Eve, the traditional New Year's Eve show featuring Kazuto Ioka. He's facing Fernando Martinez again for the WBA title at 115 pounds. The IBF title got stripped from, or he vacated, or whatever you want to call it. He's not the champion anymore because he's taking this fight against Ioka again. And a really, really good fight first time round, man.
Yeah, we rewatched it last night actually, and I mean it was a really good fight. I mean I don't think there's any doubt like who the winner was, but it was really good.
It's insane.
I mean, his like Ioka's like best fight, like most exciting fight, which is really saying something considering he's been in lots of good fights. But I just think that this is just one. Just think this is one too many for Ioka. I mean, he's been like perfect in rematches. Don't think it's going to happen this time.
I think he needs to win this fight. He needs the legs, and at 35 years old, I don't think he has them. Like the mistake he made was like holding his feet way too much. Like because he was having a lot of success, like especially to the body, but he just wasn't getting out.
Yeah, because like his defense is so good, but in that fight it was terrible. Like his defense usually good. Like punches that look like they're landing on him aren't. Like the first Franco fight, if you slowed it down, a lot of those punches don't land on him. He's making you miss by inches. But in this fight, they were just landing so much, so clean. That's the big
Just
concern for me.
bouncing off his head.
Yeah, that's the big concern for me. But obviously he had a lot of success in that fight himself. I mean, he hurt Martinez to the body several times.
So to be honest, he probably hurt Martinez more than he was hurt himself.
I mean, his body work was kind of insane. I mean, he landed so much to the body. Like, obviously they're not accurate, but I did check the punch stats, and he landed like 120 something body shots, I think. Like half of his line of punches were to the body. It's crazy.
I wouldn't put it past that. That's probably near accurate the way he was fighting. To be honest, he was.
I think that's the key. If
Yeah,
Ioka is going to win this fight, he needs to go to the body.
Yeah, but
Like he needs to nail into the body as well. Though.
it didn't stop Martinez. It didn't slow him down at all. That's a
the
concern. It didn't stop him down. It hurt him, like notably hurt him several times, but it just didn't stop him down. It didn't slow him down. That's concerning. That's bad. Because imagine landing over like 130 body punches on someone, and they just don't slow down. I know late fight effects that you usually get. And I can't remember how I scored it, but I mean, he probably finished
No,
I scored
well
it.
to win the fight.
2 rounds to.
I watched it the other night. I scored it 115, 113 to Martinez. Like, there was one stage in the middle rounds where like Martinez just bends over from the body shots, and you're thinking, "Oh my god, he's gonna go," and he just doesn't. I think it was round 7 or round 6 or something. Like, Ioka lands a combination. Martinez just bends over, and you're thinking, right, he's gonna drop it, and he just doesn't. And you're thinking, what is this guy made of, man? But yeah, I it's weird because until this week, I had Martinez as a very big favorite, but there are a couple of things. Like there was some footage coming out a couple of weeks ago, and he looked a bit drained in training. Like he
I
looks
mean,
like he
he's
was already cutting
supposedly
weight.
ill.
Yeah, and now like he doesn't
Yeah,
turn
I
up to the
mean,
public workout, and he's ill,
now
and
he's
you're thinking this fight theoretically, like it's very possible that this fight doesn't even happen at this point. Because
yeah.
if you've got a fever and you're not turning up to like media workouts and stuff, I mean, we've seen fighters turn up to media workouts and just like hit the pads a little bit and go home. Like,
You probably
if
couldn't
you're
even
that
do
ill that
that.
you're not turning up to it, I don't know, man. There's still a big chance that this fight doesn't actually happen. I think it will, but like, it wouldn't shock me at all if we found out in the next couple of days. Oh yeah, Puma's ill. He's pulled out.
Well, hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
I need my Ioka New Year's Eve fix.
If if you got a fever 5 days before a fight,
Especially
like,
with his style, he just won't be the same fighter if he.
yeah, you need legs for that style. You need an engine, and you need. Can you imagine if like his lungs are a bit tired and he's got a bit of a fever, and then he takes 100 body punches again?
Don't think it will get anywhere near that. I can't imagine he's taking those if he's ill.
Yeah, like it's just
50 of them.
I don't know, man. Like I still favor Martinez, but I don't know. I was gonna bet it, but like now I don't know. I'm probably not gonna bet this fight because I don't know what condition.
It's just you can't always like overthink. Remember how the Casemiro Saul Sanchez thing we overthought a little bit, and Sanchez ended up getting knocked out in like 90 seconds. We can't. I don't think we could. We can always overthink the out like before the fight happens type thing. But
I've never
it's still alarming. But
I've never seen something like that. I've never seen someone not turn up.
Maybe it's smart. I mean, just rest for a bit. I do his regular stuff. and just get better in a few days. I mean, I don't know if his fever was too high. I can't remember the temperature of it, but
I have
you know, a few
like it's
days,
just I
few days
worry like,
rest.
if you're a little bit tight at the weight and you're a little bit ill, and you know, I don't know,
He was
like
like,
it just makes me think like if I thought he was okay at the weight and I thought he was perfectly fit, I'd have very little doubt in my mind that Martinez was gonna win this fight pretty easily. But or not easily, but like pretty clearly. But now I don't know. It's a lot closer in my head now.
Coming into a fight, not like close to 100%. Well, most people don't come 100%, but like maybe like 60 or 70 if you're ill. It's never good. And it's just hard to pick someone who's ill to win a fight, especially when they're fighting someone else that's a great fighter, even if he is a faded great fighter.
Yeah.
Not as faded. I mean, he's still good, but not as good as he was.
Yeah.
I think I'm still gonna go Martinez decision, but I honestly, it obviously won't be surprising if Ioka just has one last go. Because this is probably like, if he loses, this is probably his last fight.
Yeah. Even if he wins, man.
Look, maybe he must be getting fed up of having all these wars. I mean, he's been in lots of just tough, grueling fights. I mean, at 35, does he want to do that anymore?
Probably not. He probably
He
just wants
does
to,
win.
And
he just
like,
wants to chill at home and smoke his weed.
look, especially as he's getting older and older in his legs, like he can't move as much, and he has to stand and fight. I mean, if he
If he
can't,
does win,
He can't sustain that.
if he does win, and he does want to continue, I think there's two fights for him really that I'd want to see. Well, three actually. Chocolatito, if he can get past Cafu, which we think's happening. Or move to bantamweight and go and fight either Juan Estrada or Nonito Donaire. Like I don't like he's all these mid-30s guys. I don't really like them fighting these young guys. I think there's big fights for them where they can make money against sort of the other guys that are old. And like going in with Bam Rodriguez, you're going to get your head taken off at 35. Like, yeah, like a unification's a unification, but like, does Ioka really want that? Like, I don't know.
I don't want to see him get beat up by Bam, which will happen.
Yeah,
I mean, Bam could be a prime Ioka, let alone a prime 115 Ioka.
yeah.
Let alone this version of Ioka. That would be a bad fight for him to take. I wouldn't be surprised if he took it because, you know, he's Ioka. But I wouldn't. I mean, I'd watch the fight, obviously. But I'd be really concerned for him. Really concerned.
Yeah, we do not need that.
Maybe like Bam wants to get revenge for his brother or something. I don't know. But anyway, there's one fight of note on this undercard. Hayato Tatsumi, who's a fantastic prospect, won the youth world championships. Has beat. If you just look through his amateur record, he's beaten a lot of good fighters. Takes on Rene Alvarado and a WBA super featherweight eliminator. I quite like this fight for Tatsumi. Like Rene Alvarado is a tough, like veteran type guy, not elite, not world level, really. It's a nice step up, I think.
This is it's not one of those fights where you find out if someone is like actually the real deal or not, I guess. Because if you're not, he's gonna beat you. And if you are, then it's impressive. I mean, he's only had like 5 fights. And being someone like Alvarado, that would be impressive.
He's got an impressive sort of little resume for someone who's 5-0. Peter Polinar, Gio Santizumar, and Anselmo Moreno, or the skeleton of Anselmo Moreno, because he was done. But like that's a nice little record for someone that's just 5-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart, obviously smart matchmaking, but you know, like they're still like they're decent fighters.
Yeah.
Like, you won't see many people with that little fight being put in against those guys. Or Rene Alvarado. I mean, they must be really confident in
Yeah,
Tatsumi.
I think he'll beat Alvarado. I think he'll look good. Because like I don't know, man. Like I think the move to 130, although it's been forced on him, I think that's a really good move as well. Like because he missed weight against Moreno and that. Yeah. I really like this fight, man. I feel like if you look at like what matchmaking at this stage of someone's career is meant to be, like Tatsumi is meant to have fights that are very testing for him, but that he's probably quite a big favorite in. I think this fits the mold perfectly. Like Alvarado's going to test him, but Tatsumi's going to win the fight, and it's just about how he wins it. I really like the fight, man. I think it'll be good as well because Tatsumi likes to stand and trade.
I mean, I can't really see him stopping Alvarado. I mean, he's only been stopped like once. I mean, he has a good. I mean, he's been dropped a few times. He's not like his brother, where he's never been dropped. But like, you can't stop him. Really.
We're gonna go with Tatsumi decision.
Yeah.
The
only time Alvarado's been stopped is on cuts.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's fought the biggest punches, but like he's still impressive.
Well, he went 10 with Cepeda.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
and that was a tough fight. He really put in a good performance against Cepeda. Yeah.
He didn't win in that fight. Like,
yeah, he did.
Yeah. Fought Canelo. The Russian Canelo. Mark Urbanov. But yeah, I do like this fight a lot. Yeah, Tatsumi points is the safe play there, I think. I think that will happen. Tatsumi points. It's funny how we're just talking about the Alvarados this week.
Shout out to the Alvarados, man.
Yeah, they're very fun. I like them a lot. They're very fun. Great bunch of lads. No, they are though. They're brilliant. They fought. What card did both? Was it Ryan Garcia, Luke Campbell? They both fought on that undercard and both had like wars. I think Felix Alvarado beat up DJ Krill or something. Yeah,
that was on the list. Yeah, that actually Golden Boy posted that the other week, I think.
Roger Gutierrez beat Rene or something. I'll check. Boxing.
Probably.
Yeah, Roger Gutierrez beat Rene. And Alvarado battered DJ Krill.
That was a good fight.
Yeah. But before we start getting into random undercard fights from 5 years ago, the awards for 2024, we'll do them now. These are subject to change if Fernando Martinez and Kazuto Ioka drop each other 17 times in the best fight of the time. Or like, I don't know, Martinez goes out there and one punch KOs Ioka in the first round. We don't know what's going to happen. Right? Yeah. So we're not going to these are the year awards for the year to the 28th of December. So not the year awards, but the almost year awards for 2024. We've got a few categories. A lot of categories that I don't think a lot of people have. But yeah, we'll start off with Fighter of the Year. I think we're all unanimous on this. Few fighters have had good years. Daniel Dubois had a good year. Background Rosaliev's had a good year. Alcib Turbiyev's had a good year. Pedro Tadaran's had a good year. A lot of fighters have had good years, but the fighter with the best year is Alexander Usyk, and we're pretty much all in agreement.
We are,
Absolutely.
but you missed out Bam Rodriguez, who has had
Bam
the second
Rodriguez
best
had a
year.
good year as well.
He's
yeah.
had the second best year this year.
Yeah. I forgot about him. There's been a lot of good fighters that have had good years, but it's just Alexander Usyk. There's not really a debate.
Look, I wouldn't argue with anyone who picked Bam, to be honest, but I'm not picking Bam. Because,
Yeah.
like, look, Usyk beating Fury, I mean, not like reasonably, obviously-ish, clearish, both times. Like, and in like good performances, especially the second fight. I mean, that especially outweighed so much more in the second fight. Just being someone so much bigger than you.
With relative ease. Yeah, he's pound for pound number one in Fighter of the Year.
Because, I mean, Bam had like incredible performances outside of getting dropped. But Strada, I mean, he had been inactive for 2 years and is getting on in age. And
I would
so,
say
mm,
he was a significant favourite in both of those fights.
yeah. And, you know, Guevara, he's like 35 as well.
Yeah. Like, he was a significant favourite to win those fights. As good as those performances were, like, he was a significant favourite to win them.
Yeah.
And he did get dropped, and it's like, yeah. He had a good year, great year. But Usyk, man. Usyk, what a fighter.
Yeah, I mean, Betovia as well. I mean, Callum Smith and being Dimitri Bivol.
Yeah, he beat a journeyman, Dimitri Bivol.
Look, like being Dimitri Bivol is like much better fighter than Tyson Fury.
But it wasn't as
But
clear. Like,
it wasn't as clear, and like lots of people did think Bivol won that fight.
yeah.
Could have gone either way. Like it's kind of inconclusive, really. Like we'll see what happens with the rematch with that one.
It's one of the many contradictions in boxing that the fight to crown an undisputed champion was extremely disputed.
Yeah, I mean, belt wise, he's undisputed, but I mean, there's lots of dispute in that fight.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, fight of the year. I don't know your two, but yeah, we just talked about it. For me, fight of the year means the best fight. The best fight means the highest level fight, and that highest level fight of this year was Artur Beterbiev against Dimitri Bivol. So that's my fight of the year.
Well, my fight of the year is I was debating with a couple of them, but I went on Ortiz Bobacar because I had a separate carry of favorite fight, and my favorite fights aren't usually like crazy wars. But I guess the best fight. It depends really. Do you think best fights like the highest level fight, most skilled, or
Yeah, that's the thing.
the best fight's the best action? I mean,
I
There's a
feel
lot
like
of
it
these-
should be. I feel like it should be the best action, to be honest.
A lot of these awards are so sort of the categories aren't defined really. I don't know.
yeah,
I get your
because I
point of
mean,
view.
like with all the actual fight of the years I've won, it seems like it's the best action, but it also has to be like a high level fight. It can't be some random fight.
Yeah, it's a mixture of the two.
Like 90% of the time has to be a world title fight, or like there's something on the line.
I also thought Batavia Biffle had a lot of action though.
It did.
I did.
Like it's weird.
I'm not mad at it. I just
Yeah.
think Ortiz Bochuk is actually like a generational fight that just happened like 6 months ago. It
Yeah,
just
I mean, because that was still high level fight. I mean, it wasn't as high as Batavia Bivol, but still
Yeah,
high
very
level
a
high.
fight
different
between
type. It was a different type of high level.
two of the best fights in the division. Also, inconclusive, really. I know lots of people had Boachuk winning that fight.
I that fight a draw. I watched it back and I scored it exactly the same. It was a draw for me. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I guess the podcast award is going to Virgil Ortiz against Sir High Boachuk. Because I've been outvoted.
No, I don't think it's gonna be Alva because some of these will probably all have different answers, and then
Yeah,
there will just be a tie.
yeah. I'm willing to concede. My favorite fighter this year. I watched it last night. I was tweeting about it last night. A Phoenix battle. Just classic. Shu Utsugi against Katsuyuga Yasuda, or however the hell you say it. Both went down like 2 or 3 times. It's ridiculous. It's like it was like the Japanese version of I nearly said William Zepeda, Jose Zepeda against Baranchik. It was the Japanese version of that fight. Like whenever you thought one was getting on top, they got dropped, and then vice versa, and it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, we didn't do a round of the year category, but that would have been too much
Yeah,
research to go in. But
that's the
that
round.
round
Yeah.
4 of that fight is ludicrous.
It's just ridiculous. Like, anyway, what were your favorite fights?
Well, I've already mentioned my favorite fight, which is Batavia people. Don't really need to say any more about that.
You know, my favorite fight was Jason Maloney versus Saul Sanchez, which I really had. Like, I really thought I was going to win fight of the year, but it was right at the start of the year, and then it got overtaken by multiple fights because we've had an insane year. But that was my favorite fight.
I mean, to still be highly regarded, considering it happened in
Yeah.
January, still be so highly regarded right now. I mean,
That
proves
was-
how
that
good
was-
it was.
It's still like a top 5 fight. But
That's like one of the best bantamweight fights ever.
yeah, same with Ortiz Bochuk. That's like a top 3 154-pound fight ever.
Like, and I think a lot got taken out of him there.
No, yeah, Maloney's not gonna.
Yeah,
He couldn't be the same after something like that.
yeah.
So,
That, and like coming back against Takai that quickly is another like topic, but like Ohashi got him at the exact right time for Takai to beat him.
Just about. You just about hung on.
Yeah.
What?
Anyway.
Well, I guess it's a tie.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Knockout of the year. I'll let you go first on this one because
Well, mine is Angelo Leo against Luis Alberto Lopez.
Ditto.
I mean, just watch it. I mean, it speaks for itself.
Also, probably like a top 3, top 5 upset of the year too. But,
Taj.
mine was the same. Angelo Leo knocking Luis Alberto Lopez senseless.
As good as that was, with my knockouts, I like to have genuine concern for the health of the person knockout. And
I think I know.
no, but you know what I mean. It's that type of knockout.
Yeah.
And Tyson Koki against Diok Non Yam. The way he was shaking on the floor, I had genuine concerns. Like, it was like, is he okay? Like,
that's not what I expected you to say, actually.
Yeah, you were thinking in places against Shevchenko, weren't you?
Yeah, so
that as well. That was probably it was between that and that one
That
and this
was
one.
mine was between those two.
But yeah,
Between
Tyson,
yeah.
like, especially given the context of he's literally just nearly been stopped himself.
In the first round.
Yeah, in the like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, that was just ridiculous, that knockout. But yeah, so yeah, it is going to Leo anyway. So, upset of the year, I think we're unanimous on this. There's been quite a lot. Tadaran, Trezaliev, Dubois, Angelo Leo. There's been quite a lot of upsets. Even Yoshiki Takai against Bologna. But even actually, Barroso against O'Hara Davis. That was this year. But the upset of the year, I think we're unanimous. Bruno Sirac knocking out Heinemann Gia.
Another late bloomer, but holy hell, that was just not supposed to happen at all. Like,
Yeah,
on paper, it shouldn't have happened. Like with the record, with the random opponent, with it being in Mexico, that wasn't supposed. That was the complete opposite of the script. If he was handed the script, he just threw it in the trash.
if you just handed the script after like second round or third round when he got dropped as well, like, yeah, ridiculous.
He was supposed to be a viral knockout for him, and
Yeah.
that's just not what happened.
Trainer of the year. Who are you two going with? Because I've got a hipster pick here.
Yes, you do. And look, I know your pick, and I mean, it's wrong.
It's disgusting.
Look, it's Robert Garcia. I mean, it's pretty undebatable. To be honest, it's Robert Garcia.
It's Roberto.
Hmm.
I don't care. I don't care what anyone done in amateur boxing.
Tolkien Kalishev masterminded 5 Olympic gold medals for Uzbekistan and has just got about 17 medals at the Asian Championships.
Like well done. But
started the careers off with Israel Madrimov, Mudronak, Medaliev, all these guys.
But he might have started all his careers off, but that's irrelevant in this year.
Yeah, here's your participation medal, pal.
Look,
exactly. It's about medals, Dodge. That's my point.
I mean, Robert Garcia, he had obviously Bam Rodriguez this year. He had Valenzuela as well. Who else does he have?
Got Virgil Ortiz dropped twice by someone Brandon Adams stopped.
Let's be serious.
Yep. Look, Virgil Ortiz beat Barberchuk. Virgil Ortiz beat Barberchuk. Bam beat Estrada and Guevara. Murataya, he did Murataya things. And Valenzuela became world champion, even if it was against Isaac Cruz. I mean, the only other person.
I don't even think Valenzuela is a top 10 guy at 140, but yeah, fair enough.
The only person who comes close, in pro boxing, professional, is Usyk's trainer.
It's between them two. Well, there's a long list of things Robert Garcia's fighters have done this year. I think it should be.
Or Mark Ramsey. I mean, Mark Ramsey had a good year.
Not on the high level.
Yeah, but Turbiev beat Bivol.
Yeah, but Turbiev beat Bivol. Oh. We got bloody all the Canadian.
No, I would say there's a drop off after that.
Yeah,
all of Robert Garcia's fighters are all on the same thing.
Yeah. Performance of the year. I've gone for here. Background Rosaliev stopping Tim Tszyu in 3 rounds. Massive underdog. Not really anyone gave him a chance. I gave him a little bit of a chance, but I picked Tszyu. Tim Tszyu was a massive favourite. It was a huge upset, nearly upset of the year. And Mutrozaliev absolutely flogged him. Like had Tszyu stricken in the first round. Totally outjabbed him, outboxed him in the first round, and then just kept dropping him, and the fight was done inside 9 minutes. Ridiculous performance.
Yeah, I mean that was a great performance.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with them at all.
Well, I went with Dubois against AJ. I mean, I had
Same.
it was between like a few, really. Because there's Bam against Estrada, like outside of getting dropped. I mean, he was pretty much perfect.
Yeah, no, I would have
Not
picked
really going to hold that against him that much.
I would have picked
I mean,
him,
I thought
to be
Leo was
honest.
good against Lopez and killed him as well.
You can't say that. He actually
Look,
for fuck's sake, you can't say he really did.
yeah, well,
He
you know,
really did, for
he
fuck's
survived.
sake. He had a brain. But yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
he performed an attempted murder.
Yeah. That was a close fight on the cards for me though. Like he lost multiple rounds of that fight.
I will check my scorecard. What was the date of the fight?
What are we talking
If
about?
I have a scorecard, that is
Leo
August.
against Lopez. I had Leo up. I think he lost like 3 or 4 rounds of that fight for me.
Yeah, he did.
Can't remember. I have to check my cards, but yeah. Tars, what's yours?
Mine was the same, Dubois AJ, but it was between yours and that one.
Fair enough. The reason I probably didn't pick Dubois in the end was because I sort of expected that sort of to happen.
I wouldn't have put it past Dubois winning because it's heavyweight boxing. I just didn't think it was going to be inside 30 seconds that he would have just been compromised like that.
Maybe.
And
Yeah.
the fight was just over like immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, outside of like him getting hurt briefly, and then even when he was hurt, I mean, he just knocked him out after that.
I was like, I feel like he was fine. To be honest.
He was fine. He took a big shot and then just circled out, and everyone's going crazy saying he's hurt.
No, he was doing the stanky leg a little bit.
I mean, he was hurt, but
he recuperated like instantly.
Yeah. But yeah, that's fair enough. Prospect of the year. Now this award for me is nonsense, but go ahead, you two.
Another hipster pick from you.
Hmm.
It's
I just honestly, this is the most nonsense award ever. To be honest.
well, I mean, how do you judge it? Really, is the person you think is the best, or the person you think had the best year out of all the prospects?
Who is a prospect?
well,
What's a prospect? Because I've seen people say Diego Pacheco is a prospect when he's mandatory for world title.
he's absolutely not a prospect.
Well, I've seen people give him prospect of the year.
Yeah, no, they're stupid.
Is Jadalov a prospect? Because he's 30.
He's not even a fighter.
True.
He's an amateur boxer.
Yeah, 30 years old.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I gave it to most of the time anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fair enough.
look, I mean, it's him or Abdullah Mason.
Which is
I don't think you can give somebody that gets dropped twice by someone half his size as prospect of the year.
Well, all right.
Look, I mean, he dealt with adversity and came back and stopped the guy in the next round.
I think my award is going to Erislandy Alvarez. So there's that. He had a professional fight this year, so you can't complain. He had a professional fight this year. He beat Roberto Gomez over 6 rounds in Abu Dhabi in January. And that's the only professional fight he's had, but I'm picking him because I think he's the best. I think he's the best prospect in boxing, and that's sort of what it's for. And I think he's the one of these fighters that I have zero doubts in my mind that he wins a world title. Like, he wins a world title for me, definitely. So that's why I'm picking him.
He probably does. He just needs to
Maybe
actually be a professional.
And the world title he wins
Yeah.
is an IBA pro once. Because he's going to be in the amateur system for the next 600 years.
Exactly.
So, Archer, who are you picking?
Picked Abdullah Mason, the one you dissed.
Oh god.
But I think he did pretty damn well in his fights, like his other fights of the year. And then
Yeah.
like Dan said, he it's not like he went life and death, I guess. It's not like he had a prolonged 8-round fight, trading knockdowns all the way through. The fight lasted 4 minutes. Like he dealt with that and then instantly finished it. So.
Look, he got dropped. Then he dropped him. Then he got dropped, and then he stopped him in the next round. It's fine. I mean, we want fighters to prospects to get tough tests, but then we moan when it ends up being tough.
Yeah, but the point of that fight, that wasn't meant to be. That's the only thing I'd say. It wasn't meant to be a tough fight.
Sometimes fights are just tougher than you expect, and you just got to come through them and learn and be better than the next fight. For a 20-year-old, that's a good learning experience. And that's just that fight. It's mostly a positive. It's kind of a little bit troubling that he got dropped, but they were mistakes that
Got dropped by a featherweight, man.
There were mistakes that are fixable.
Yeah.
Put his chin down. He doesn't get hit with those shots. Doesn't get dropped.
Fair enough. Robbery. We all know what that is. Pena Predbrossery against Carlos Canizales. Not much else to be said. Obviously, Sean McComb against Barboza and Foster versus Conte Sal 1. There are a couple of ones that were bad cards, but this one was awful. That's the clear robbery of the year. I think we're all in agreement.
Yep.
That was disgusting.
Yeah. Comeback of the year in terms of in-fight comeback. I think we're disagreeing on this one. I have Masanori Rikishi against Michael Magnesi.
Great pick.
Was miles behind on the cards. Needs a knockout in round 12. Has a broken nose, blood everywhere. Ends up stopping Magnesi with about 25 seconds left of the fight. And then there's all these photos after of Rikishi literally pissing blood into cups and stuff for his drug tests.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
The blood was black.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was a great
Yeah, that's my comeback.
I mean, I picked Ford against Komatov.
I think that fight was a lot closer on the cards. And I also think that was a little bit of a gift for him.
Look,
I'm being honest.
Don't turn your back.
I think it was a little bit of a gift. I think the Rikishi one was a lot more conclusive.
Well, mine was a Nanshinga Kuriel 2.
That's a good shout, actually.
Nanshinga maybe won 2 rounds of the fight up until then. Was getting beat down on the ropes for a lot of the fight. And then rounds 9 and 10, he turned it around. But my second pick was Rikishi Magnesi.
I don't know. I don't know. I just think Adrian Curiel is terrible. So
we're not talking about the level of these fighters.
Yeah, but
in fight comeback.
Yeah, but in terms of, I don't know. I know they also had Colin Nathan was saying that was basically the game plan as well. It's a great comeback, but they apparently just that was what they were trying to do.
It was a risky game plan.
Very risky. But Colin Nathan's a very risky individual the way he operates. But yeah.
And a possible genius.
In some ways.
I mean, if that was your second one, Magnesi Rikishi, and my second one, maybe we should make it Magnesi Rikishi.
Maybe. But yeah.
Because even if Magnesi made it to the end, it would have been a draw. Like he still wouldn't have won the fight.
Yeah. I'll never like forget the Italian commentary team on that fight. Sort of
No.
Yeah, you
and then
won't, because
and
I
then they
posted
sort
it
of
on
turned to
YouTube.
screaming. They turned to screaming at the ref trying to get him to stop it by the end. But I've never seen that.
Because Hector Afu is one of the worst refs in boxing.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, a fighter comeback. This is the fighter that sort of turned their career around this year. I've got one that not many people talk about for the sort of level that he's been on, but from someone that was coming off a brutal knockout loss to a fringe contender to end the year as a unified champion, Sebastian Fundora, for me, has turned his career around this year.
I didn't really think about that.
I mean, he did have a good career. I picked Angelo Leo.
That's fair.
I also picked Angelo. He was like retired. Like he said he was done, and then he just had his pro box fights and his mandatory title shot off his pro box fights. And
That wasn't mandatory.
no, I know you fight on pro box, you get a title shot.
Yeah, sorry. I apologize. That was me being stupid.
Come on.
My thing with him is he had the really good performance against Polanco before he turned into a complete journeyman, and that was in 2023. That's my only thing against that. But yeah, he had a great year. Great turnaround. But yeah.
Yeah, he did have that good performance against Polanco. Obviously not like the world level, but good.
Yeah. Now on to a award that we sort of made up. We've got two: the stock riser of the year and the stock dropper of the year. Like these are guys that you think are nowhere. They have a really good year and sort of shoot up. And the ones that you think are like on top of the world and they're just falling off a cliff. We'll start with the stock riser. For me, that's Daniel Dubois.
For me, that's Daniel Dubois.
For me, that is Daniel Dubois.
Right, that's easy. Yeah,
That's obvious.
Other guys that have had like a good year in that sense. I don't know.
Angelo Leo,
obviously, and even Fundora a little bit. Pedro Tadaran as well, actually.
Yep.
And Oscar Collazo, I think, had a really, really good year. But obviously that's not going to get the attention. Not many others really. Gilberto Ramirez, maybe. He started the year sort of having a mediocre performance against Joe Smith, like coming off of that, and now he's unified champion.
I mean, he's obviously not gonna. Maybe he should be in a nominee for a fight of the year. I mean, he's not gonna win it and get close, but
yeah, he's had a good year.
He beat Guillermo, then he beat Chris Smith.
Yeah. Stock dropper of the year. Ending it on a negative note. I've only just realised that. Mine's Tim Zhu.
Mine is Devin Haney. You can change yours.
I picked AJ, but he's just been plateauing like for years.
I mean, his stock had risen, but it wasn't like on top of the world.
No, but then it took a nosedive again. But I feel like Zhu is a good one because he was talked about like being in the mix for like a next Crawford opponent, and now he's not even. He just got wasted.
Like after the Harrison fight, people were pretty sure of that kid beating Jamel Charlo.
And then Haney, who we
Hmm.
man,
That's
I
just
did
funny.
see. Here's the thing with Haney. I thought he lost to Loma, and I thought
it was already
the
dropped.
Prograde he fought lost to Zarea. So like, like
Yeah, but
as much as he
losing.
stopped his drop, I didn't rate him as highly as a lot of other people.
But losing to Ryan Garcia and then trying to sue him is nasty work.
Look,
So,
he was in the pound for pound list going into that fight. Maybe not mine or
he would
other
have been like
people's,
9 or
but
10.
like officially, he was in the pound for pound list going into that fight and lost to Ryan Garcia. Like Ryan Garcia has got good physical attributes, but when it comes to skill wise, he's not that good.
And he
And
nearly
that
got
was just
stopped like
embarrassing.
5 different times.
Like I get it, he failed a drug test and it's a no contest, but I mean the
People still
footage is
saw that.
the footage is there. I watched
Yeah.
it. Had enough. It's not like these PDs gave him a crazy left hook. No, he's always had a crazy left hook.
He was always had that.
Even
When
I
he was a
mean,
skeleton.
yeah, even when he was draining himself, I didn't watch any of his amateur fights really, but he's probably already had it in his amateur fights as well. And it's just you not being able to avoid a left hook, really,
Yeah.
and even missing weight as well. But still got dropped 3 times against someone you shouldn't.
Lose to.
That shouldn't even been close. I mean, that should have been a dominant performance.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll make it Tim Zoo. So you wanted to change yours, and Togger's had Tim as his.
Yeah. It's just his was like he was in the conversation for beating people like Charlo and Crawford and all those top fighters, and then he gets ran over in 3 rounds by someone who was dry heaving against Jack Colke like early.
And got comprehensively outboxed by someone that got knocked out with one shot by Brian Mendoza as well.
So like it
That's
just
the
felt
thing. It's like it's 2 really bad losses.
he
Like
just felt
whatever you want to say about that Fundora fight, he got comprehensively outboxed in that fight really badly.
Yeah, and getting outboxed by Fondoro. It seems like it should be normal, but that's not good.
Yeah,
That's not what he does.
like
He
it'd be
doesn't.
different if you had a war with him and just came out on the wrong side. But like, yeah. And the mental scarring of that this year for him, I don't think it'll be the same.
he probably won't be the same, even if he didn't have the Fedor loss. To be honest, the way he got beat down off Murtazayev was insane.
Yeah. There's sort of an excuse for the Fundora one written in.
Yeah,
And then you're like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Then you get done like that against Mitrozadiev, and then it's like, wow. Okay.
yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Neither of those, because he should have, like most people would have picked him by knockout in both those fights.
Yeah. I did.
I did.
I think all did. Like it's
Yeah,
like Fedor had just been. I don't want to say murdered like you did earlier, but
He got chinned. He got chinned.
got chinned after winning every round. He got cleaned out.
and he was going life and death with Lubin and people like that. But like, if you look at Tim Tszyu, yeah. So against Fundora, he's a -900 favorite. Against Mitrozadiev, he's a -850 favorite. And he lost both of those fights pretty conclusively. Like,
Which was not a good look at all.
getting banged out in 3 rounds by a +560 underdog. That's bad. That's bad, man. But yeah,
It should probably be Zoo.
Tim Tszyu, I think, yeah. But yeah, those are our yearly rewards for 2024. Thank you for listening. We've probably waffled on about God knows what this episode. We've got an episode out with not many fights, done the awards. We'll be back next week, reviewing the Ioka card. There's Jaya Pattaya coming back in a few weeks. I don't know exactly when, but we'll probably talk about that. And we'll probably talk about our wish list for 2025 and a new episode as well. So yeah, thank you for listening.
See you in episode 26.